KNUCKLEDRAGGER Studios presents Longtime, First Time, Episode 4, Snowstorm in a Bottle.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, Suzanne. Ain't nobody ever come by asking for no rabbit's foot. I mean, usually it's like a toad or a shrunken head or some shit. You trying to pull one over on me?
It's not for me. I know better.
Oh, you do you?
Hank.
Let me guess. It's for Marjorie, huh?
How'd you know?
I got a police scanner behind the counter. Makes me feel like I got some company, you know? Yeah, Marjorie's been all over it since last night. She got something breathing down her neck, don't she?
She's just a little out of practice.
How so?
Marjorie was a medium around the same time I was working as a hotline fortune teller.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Call 155. Trust me, but hurry, your destiny won't wait forever. I used to watch your late night commercial all the time back in the day.
Oh, you flatter me, Hank. Well, Marjorie used to offer seances and medium sessions out of her home before she turned it into a boarding house.
So what you're saying is, she ain't no stranger to having someone inside her?
You feel good about that, Hank?
Yeah, she would have laughed.
Marjorie's never had a spirit just take over her body without an invitation. She feels violated.
And a rabbit's foot is what you bringing her.
I know it's the supernatural version of a sugar pill, but you know how she can be.
Don't I know it? There's something else, isn't there?
What do you mean?
Something else is bothering you. You ain't got that squirrely look in your eyes like you usually do.
There's nothing squirrely about me, Hank.
Psh, there is, but that ain't neither here nor there. So, what's got you all turned around, Suzanne?
It's nothing.
Ain't never nothing.
I think Kit's seen that spirit that possessed Marjorie.
I didn't know Kit could see.
She can't.
So, what's that tell you?
Whoever the spirit is, she needs their help.
There we go. I guess my phone's flashlight will have to do.
So we're stuck here?
I knew I should have made this burrito sooner.
Christ's sake, kid. Go see if there's anyone else in the building.
I think Fiona's still here. She should be down in the records room.
Why would she be down there?
It's usually best not to ask Fiona questions.
I'm running a circus.
I'm going back to the booth where it's quiet.
I'm gonna try to get a hold of Tom. Hopefully he's faring better than we are.
Kit, are you okay?
Hey, yeah, I'm fine.
Did you make it home before the storm?
I'm still at the station.
Oh, shit. Did you forget the chains for your Jeep?
No, I've got them. Do you remember when we learned that Wolf Bluff basically made every public building a bomb shelter during the Cold War?
Yeah, but those locks were removed years ago. I mean, they were a liability.
Can you guess which building still has them?
Shit.
Yeah, shit.
Well, hey, listen. There's a book of override codes for those old locks at the station.
That sounds made up.
Yeah, well, I can swing by the station and get those for you, but I need to get out to Bright Pastures and check on those old folks first.
Yeah, right, of course.
It is entirely possible that there's rations in the basement of that place if you get hungry. Might make you glow in the dark, though.
I will take my chances with what I have in my purse.
Are you sure you're okay? I mean, I know this is a weird time to ask, but...
No, not yet. I took a test earlier this week.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, look, I need to make sure I haven't lost any of the greatest generation, so... Can we, talk about all this later?
Yeah, of course. Just drive safe, okay? I love you.
I love you too.
It's okay. It's alright. Can you get out of here? It's fine.
Rex, hey, Rex, you okay?
Just taking a moment.
I don't think you're supposed to be smoking in here. Jesus, you are really sweaty.
I don't like being trapped.
We're not trapped.
Yeah,
Tell that to the 70-year-old industrial strength locks that are keeping us from leaving.
I don't think I've ever seen you like this before.
First time for everything, right? As usual, I try to call Ralphie and he doesn't pick up.
I'm beginning to think this Ralphie guy doesn't exist.
And weirder things have happened.
Is this something you've always dealt with?
It's a long story.
Well, we've got time. Hey, I'll steal one of your lines. Just start from the beginning.
I really don't want to get into this.
Rex, is this really something you want to try to sit on until Tom comes and unlocks the building?
If I have to.
Rex, come on.
Fine. I grew up in a house across the Malcolm Bridge. Just a real spooky-ass place with a root cellar where my father, who fancied himself a bootlegger, used to store his hooch. My mom worked as a maid at the old hotel that used to be next to the marina. You know, the one they tore down when they built the clubhouse for Hillcourt Estates. I remember tagging along with her to work sometimes and riding along on the back of the cart she'd push from room to room.
I'd pay anything to see you as a kid. Do you have footage?
Funny. My father, on the other hand, was perpetually unemployed, but occasionally would take on odd jobs when he needed to turn the power back on or get his car out of hock. My mom did what she could to try and give me a normal childhood. You know, walk me to the bus stop and take me to secondhand stores to buy clothes for each school year, and hell, she even signed me up for a church play once. I stood in front of what felt like the entire town dressed as a monkey waiting to make my way onto Noah's Ark. And I would do it again. If I had the chance, I would have done anything for her.
I don't know if I would have taken you for the sentimental type, Rex.
Yeah, not many people do. She tried, you know. Even when my father was knocking her from room to room, throwing anything near him, calling her the most horrific combination of names he could think of, she tried to give me some semblance of normalcy. I remember one night she came into my room. It must have been around 2 or 3 in the morning, and she just knelt by my bedside, saying she was sorry over and over again.
How old were you?
I was 9. It was one of those weird moments where I think I saw my mom as a person instead of a parent. I say that now, but who knows, right? But seeing your mom with the 5th or 6th black eye she's had in your lifetime, I don't know, it changes things. Sorry, I'm, like always, getting off track. There used to be a small cemetery plot situated about 100 yards from our back door. I'd wander out there most days in the summer when my father was out landscaping, or probably more accurately, getting shit-faced at the old bar at the marina. My mom would usually take on more shifts at that time of year because of the influx of tourists, so I'd meet my friends at the cemetery.
Whoa, wait, you had friends?
I know, it's hard to believe, right? My best friend was this kid, Donnie.
Just based on his name, he sounds like a real winner.
Yeah, something like that. Donnie was a goofy-looking kid with red hair and overalls that always looked a little past their prime. Like clockwork, every time I passed the makeshift gates of the cemetery, he'd emerge from behind a headstone with a cigarette in his mouth and a grin on his face. We'd chase each other, climb on headstones, and play pretend funerals, you know, all that dumb kid shit. Sometimes when my mom worked late or my father was passed out in his armchair, I'd sneak out to the cemetery and stand outside the old mausoleum toward the back of the plot.
I'm sorry, there was a mausoleum?
I know. The cemetery was established sometime in the late 1800s, not terribly long after the mines opened. Truthfully, the whole neighborhood used to be company housing. Even the foremen, who had slightly nicer houses, lived in the neighborhood. They'd all wake up at the same time, kiss their still sleeping wives and kids, and then trudge off to the mines before the sun rose. Story goes, the people who ran the mines started the plot for the workers and their families as a sign of solidarity when one of them died. The mausoleum was where they laid the foremen and their wives to rest. Donnie used to say that if you held your breath while standing outside it at night, you could hear the spirits of the old foremen groaning and coughing inside their tombs.
Oof. And?
And Donnie was full of shit. I must have stood out there 100 times and never heard a damn thing. But when the alternative was sitting in my room with a comic book and trying to dodge airborne beer bottles thrown by a drunk deadbeat, you know, you find yourself making the unconventional choice. Donnie had it in his head, though, that because of the house that we lived in, maybe I'd be more likely to hear something.
What does that mean?
Well, the house that we lived in was one of the houses that belonged to one of the brass, the mining company. It was this weird Victorian-style home that was deteriorating much more rapidly than I think any of us had been aware of. And the only reason we could afford it was because it had sat vacant for God knows how long. The last occupants were a foreman, his wife, and their son. I had no idea who they were, but at some point the foreman went crazy and killed his family, and then himself.
Holy shit, Rex, did you grow up in the Amityville house or something?
Honestly, I'm surprised you've seen that movie. You watched the remake, didn't you?
A shirtless Ryan Reynolds. What can I say?
Jesus, kid. So anyway, one day I invited Donnie over to my house. My father was out of town on some random job with one of his dirtbag friends, and my mom was working a double at the hotel, so it was just me.
Wait, you made this whole thing earlier about you being a middle child on the show.
My older brother's 9 years older than me. At this point, he was out of the house, living in Bridgeport, and working at a grocery store with no plans of ever returning to Wolf Bluff. My younger sister,
What?
she was stillborn. One of those things, you know?
Jesus, Rex.
Hits keep coming, huh? So, Donnie and I are playing at my house when he suggests we play hide and seek. I know what you're thinking. Hide and seek with only two people? Remember what I said about making the unconventional choice? So, we start the game. I lose rock, paper, scissors and end up being the seeker. It takes me all of 2 minutes to find Donnie hiding in the closet in my bedroom. I'm it, and it takes Donnie maybe 3 minutes to find me hiding in the pantry. And this continues until Donnie decides he's had enough and looks at me and says, "Let's make this interesting." Next thing I know, Donnie and I are outside. He says that the inside of the house is off limits and that beyond the cemetery is out of bounds. We play another game of rock, paper, scissors to decide who the new seeker is. Once again, I lose. When I open my eyes, Donnie's gone. I never heard any footsteps or leaves crunching or anything. So I start walking towards the back of the house. I look in our tool shed, he's not there. I look in our garage, he's not there. I walk to the cemetery, checking behind headstones and even looking inside the mausoleum. No sign of him. I called out for him as I walked back to the house, and that's when I heard it. The sound of the cellar door creaking in the wind. You know, some kids are convinced that monsters live under the beds in their closets, whatever. I never bought into any of that way of thinking, but what I did know was that if there were monsters, they would most likely be in that cellar. But in this scenario, I couldn't let Donnie beat me. And I could feel my pulse begin to rise as soon as I got near the cellar doors. You have to understand something for this to make any real sense. No one but my dad ever went into that cellar. My mom stayed clear of it, as did my older brother when he was still living at home. One summer, my father installed a padlock because he had a run-in with a nest of black widows.
Oof.
The man was deathly afraid of spiders. Truthfully, as far as I know, it's the only thing he was actually afraid of, other than being sober or holding down a job. The padlock was gone. I don't mean unlocked or cut off, I mean gone, like nowhere to be seen. The cellar doors were wide open. I peeked my head over and called out for Donnie. At first, nothing. Then I called again. And then another time. Eventually, I started hearing Donnie giggling to himself somewhere in the darkness of the cellar. I ran inside the house and grabbed my father's old mag light. The next thing I knew, I was descending the stairs into the cellar. The thing I remember most clearly is how dark the cellar was. Even with the mag light, I could barely see in front of me. And by this point, Donnie's giggling was turning into a full-blown cackle. And he'd say things like, "You can't see me," or "Nope," or "Not over there," just endlessly taunting me as I slowly made my way through this seemingly endless, dark, deep cellar.
There wasn't a light or anything down there? Like, one of those hanging bulbs or something?
My father, being the cheap son of a bitch that he was, took the bulb up with him when he locked up the cellar years before. Now I was left with utter darkness in this damp, moldy old tomb beneath our house. Jesus, I hate telling this part. Donnie's laugh eventually turned into a shriek, like an animal caught in a trap. By this point, I could feel my knees begin to shake and tears filling my eyes. So I choked out "That's not funny," and, "Cut it out, Donnie." Eventually, I said 4 words I would regret saying.
Which were?
"I'm not playing anymore." As soon as those words came out of my mouth, Donnie stopped shrieking. In the darkness of the cellar, I could hear Donnie's footsteps. So I shined my flashlight toward the back wall of the cellar, and standing with his back to me was Donnie. But he wasn't alone. Standing just outside the beam coming from the mag light was a tall man in overalls. I could barely make out the anchor tattoo on his forearm. On Donnie's other side was a woman in a blue cotton dress. Donnie turned around and stared at me. I felt myself freeze as Donnie reached into the front pocket of his own overalls and pulled out a ratty, yellowed piece of paper. And he turned it over and dropped it in front of him, almost like he was saying, "Go ahead, look at it, you know you want to."
And did you?
I was 9, of course I did. That ratty, crinkled, dirt-stained piece of paper was a picture of a family. Mom, Dad, and son, all standing outside of a beautiful Victorian home. Our home, and that family staring back at me in the picture, was Donnie and the 2 adults with him in my cellar. I heard a long exhale from Donnie. I looked up and noticed a red spot in his overalls beginning to spread across his chest. It was like a deep, dark bullet hole at its center. And I pointed my flashlight at the woman next to him and saw that in the center of her forehead was a similar hole, now oozing blood down her face. Christ. I managed to point my flashlight one more time at the man standing with Donnie. His lower jaw was missing, and the top of his head was caved in. I felt my bladder give way, and my stomach turn to water. And then darkness. I tried to run up the stairs to the cellar doors, but my legs felt like they were made of concrete. I looked up at the fading daylight and realized that Donnie and his family, in all their horrific, distorted glory, were standing outside the cellar. Donnie walked over and, with a smile on his face, closed the doors. I heard the sound of the padlock click into place. I started pounding and screaming and crying, but it was no use. And Donnie came back sometime later. I honestly don't know when. When you're in total darkness, your sense of time disappears. He lit a cigarette and told me this was all a game.
Wait,
What?
Donnie trapped you in the cellar and then came back.
Yeah.
But he was...
A ghost?
Yeah, but...
I don't believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
Kid, I'm going to tell you something that I've only ever told one other person in my entire life. When I was a kid, I saw ghosts constantly. One of my earliest memories was of my 5th birthday. My mom got me this great cake from the grocery store and sat me down on our back porch. It was actually a rare moment of peace in our house. She went inside to grab some matches to light the candles on the cake. And while she was gone, I noticed a man standing by the tree line. He smiled and waved. And when my mom came back, I pointed at the guy and said, "Who's that man over there?" And she turned and looked and said she didn't see anyone. I pointed again and she said she still didn't see anyone. Sometimes at night, I'd see shadows on my walls or a moving shape in the corner of my room. Stuff my mom just would chalk up to a bad dream or an overactive imagination. But I knew better. So, when Donnie and his family appeared to me that day in the cellar, I knew I had to do something about it.
What do you mean?
Do you remember what I said about my father keeping his homemade hooch down in the cellar?
Yeah. Oh. God. Rex.
When he drank, my father was lots of things. Violent, stupid, a complete asshole. But it also made him brave. He knew no strangers, no limits, no real reason to be afraid of anything. Being stuck in that cellar with a ghost of a red-headed little shit made me want to be like my father for the first and only time in my life. So I walked over to the jugs of moonshine he kept in a corner near the rusty, long-ignored garden tools that came with the house, and took a long drink. I felt my chest light on fire and my eyes water, but I also felt, even with just that first hit, a feeling of relief begin to wash over me. So I kept drinking. I drank until I saw Donnie melt into the wall. I drank until I fell, passed out. Next thing I remember is my father pulling me out of the cellar and laying me down on the grass. I was covered in my own vomit. My head feeling like someone had repeatedly beaten it with a sledgehammer. That was how it started. When my mom died some years later and I inherited the house, the developers for the Hill Court Estates came knocking, trying to buy the property along with the rest of the neighborhood. A lot of people put up a fight before cutting their losses and selling. I didn't even hesitate. I handed them the deed, pocketed the check, and laughed as they knocked it down. You're only the second person I've ever told any of that to.
Who is the first?
I think you know.
No. How could I have...
Fiona? Hey, Fiona.
Sorry. Sorry. I didn't mean to.
Open up, kiddo.
No. How was I supposed to know?
Hey, Fiona? Oh.
Of course, she's sleeping. Hey, Fiona. Come on. Rise and shine.
Oh, God. Brian, are you my sleep paralysis demon?
What?
I can't move my arms, and you are standing over me.
That's because they're asleep, kiddo. You were sawing logs on the desk when we came in.
Were you knocking?
We had to. The door was shut.
No, it wasn't.
The kid's right. The door was shut and locked when we got here.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, maybe something blew it shut.
What were you doing down here in the first place?
I would prefer not to answer that question.
What, were you like getting high or something down here?
For Christ's sake.
We all need to come down somehow.
Listen, kiddo, I was a teenager in the 70s. I get it. But not while you're at work, okay?
Yeah. Sorry. Did you two need something?
The power's out.
Why isn't the backup generator kicked on?
Why does everyone keep asking that? I didn't build the goddamn station.
There isn't one. Or maybe there was one at one point, but it hasn't been maintained. Honestly, it's a bit fuzzy.
Idiots. So what do we do?
We go topside and wait it out. I have a key to the vending machine in the hallway. I figured we all sit around and enjoy some of the finest cuisine the United States Industrial Food Complex has to offer.
We're gonna die here, aren't we?
Maggie.
Yep. She's the only other person who's ever heard that story, and she took it to her grave.
So all this time you played this skeptic role, but really you have first-hand experience with all of the paranormal stuff.
It's not something I like to lead off with. Honestly, if it hadn't been for the whole Donnie thing, I might have just chalked all of it up to bad dreams or an overactive imagination. My mom used to call me sensitive. Maybe she was right. Who knows?
But since the accident, you stopped drinking.
I didn't stop drinking because of the accident.
What?
Kid, I wasn't drinking the night of the accident. I hadn't had a drink in probably 2 months at that point.
Hold on. Well, this is news to me.
Do you remember what was happening 2 months before that night?
Yeah, you were in the middle of your divorce from Tara.
Yeah, at that point, things were already batshit crazy. I mean, imagine that, right? That was just how things went with her. We were like two runaway trains that tried to ride on the same track, ultimately colliding and running off the rails.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know. You spend enough time in the drunk tank, guys like Tom or Ted treating you like a joke, you start to wonder if maybe you are one. I remember one night I was sleeping it off and I woke up flat on my back, staring up at the cinder block ceiling of the Wolf Bluff jail, and I swear I heard Maggie's voice in my ear. She was like, "You can stop pretending." So the next day I took the last few bottles of whiskey I had and dumped them. You want to know the really messed up part, though? That night wasn't some huge epiphany for me or a scared straight kind of thing. I didn't want to stop drinking. I wanted to sober up enough so that I could see her again. Do you know how goddamn crazy that sounds? I wanted to try and get enough booze out of my system so I could, maybe on the off chance that she was even still on this plane of existence, have a moment with my dead first wife.
That's not crazy, Rex. Honestly, it's probably one of the most normal things I've ever heard you say. Of course you'd want to see her again. I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah, I guess. The night of the accident was also the day that we signed the papers. It was over. Months of being in hell, and it was finally over. I stopped by Hank's for some smokes. It must have been late, too late, honestly, even for me. I got out onto the highway, and just as I was passing by the woods, I saw someone, a woman. I must have been more tired than I realized, because the next thing I know, I've lost the road, and I'm careening into the biggest goddamn oak tree I've ever seen. You know what a car accident sounds like from the inside? It's a horrible, dull, teeth-rattling sound. All you can smell is the burnt odor from the airbags deploying. My head hit the steering wheel. When I came to a few minutes later, I could swear she was there, Kit. And I remember thinking, if this is what it takes to see her, then that's all right with me. I know now that people like me just aren't that lucky.
Jesus, Rex.
I don't know how long I was in that car until Tom came and pulled me out of it. I just remember waking up, cuffed to the hospital bed, everyone assuming I've been drinking. He'll never admit to it, but Tom was asleep in the chair next to the bed. He was waiting for me to wake up so he could throw the book at me. Poor guy.
You know who would get a kick out of this?
Who?
Suzanne.
Jesus Christ.
I know. She would lose her mind if she knew.
Let's just keep this between us then.
Yeah, I guess we all have our secrets, right?
And what's yours?
What?
Your secret. I just told you most of my life story. I'm feeling vulnerable.
Rex McCaddy? Vulnerable? You know what? That must be why it's so cold in here. It's not because the power's out. Hell must have frozen over.
Kit.
Fine. Tom and I have been trying to have a baby for about the past 8 months.
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh, sorry. I just tried to imagine the uptight, neurotic offspring that you two would create together.
Screw you. You know what? Forget it. Forget it.
Sorry. I'll be quiet. So you've been trying for 8 months.
I actually don't know if I want to talk about this. I shouldn't have said anything.
Kit. Come on.
A little over 8 months ago, we had our 10-year anniversary. Tom had just gotten promoted at work, and I don't know. Life kind of seemed like it was finally on track, so we sat down and talked about what was next. Tom always wanted to be a dad. I mean, the guy basically already is.
Yeah, I remember the jean shorts and Hawaiian shirt combo at the WBAR summer barbecue last year.
If you can believe it, that was actually the least offensive outfit he tried on that day. He tried to leave the house in khaki shorts and his "Stop in the Name of the Claw" t-shirt. He got it at last year's crawfish boil. Anyway, I don't know. Kids have never really been a thought for me. The closest thing I have to a baby is this show. And if parenting is anything like managing all of you weirdos, then I think I'm at capacity. But Tom, he's one of those people who, when you think of someone who is good, and I mean like really good, he's who you think of. So I thought, yeah, let's do it. Let's start our family. We tried for about 2 months and nothing. You know, I'm taking tests, I'm having false alarms, and all of it, but still nothing. One day we decided to head to Bridgeport and just get some tests done, you know, just to see. Tom gives a sample, I get reacquainted with my gyno, and reaffirm my belief that women really do get the short end of the stick in healthcare, and we wait. A few days later, we're back in Bridgeport being told there's nothing wrong with either of us, and to just keep on trying. Rex, I'm a problem solver, you know? It's what I do. It's something I pride myself on. So to be told, hey, there's no real problem here, just keep trying and crossing your fingers, I don't know, it just kind of felt really helpless. And ever since then, I've been asking myself, yeah, do you even want this? I mean, you know what happens here in Wolf Bluff. It's this really the kind of place I want to raise a kid. Tom and I work nights. Would I have to give up my show? Oh my God, would Suzanne be the nanny?
Take a breath.
You know, I took a test the other night, and I remember sitting there wondering what I would do if it were positive.
Maggie and I tried for kids. Do you know that?
Oh my God, could you imagine a mini you running around?
Oh, I've thought about it. But I remember finding peace in the knowledge that, with any luck, our kid would have been more like her. We tried for a few months, and one day I noticed that she was looking pale. Not herself, you know. At first she thought maybe it was a bug or food poisoning, but eventually she couldn't keep anything down. She'd find blood in the toilet, stuff like that. Doctors diagnosed her with ovarian cancer. You never got to meet Maggie. She was strong, stubborn, but also gentle. I remember sitting there as they talked about chemo, radiation, all that shit, just feeling like everything was suddenly out of focus. But she was there. I was just pretending to be strong. She actually was.
I guess I'm scared of hurting him. You know, if I tell him that I don't want to have kids and he does.
It's also not a decision you should make just to make someone happy. That way lies madness. Maggie and I weren't perfect, but we were honest. Tom loves you, Kit. And I know you love him. You'll figure this out.
Nicotine makes you wise, McCaddy.
Don't get used to it.
Do you guys really think there's an ancient monster living under our town?
The only monsters in our town are the sons of bitches who decided to close down Larry's hamburger stand.
Didn't they find rat shit all in that refrigerator? And wasn't there a human finger in their chili?
I think you're thinking of that other burger place.
No, she's right. But it was only the tip of the finger, and it wasn't as nefarious as it sounds. One of the cooks accidentally lopped it off while using one of those mandolin things.
Gnarly.
Honestly, it made me want to eat there.
Tom, thank God.
How are you holding up?
Oh, you know, trapped in a building with asbestos and no heat on the coldest night of the year.
Well, I'm in right now. Just hang tight.
Only way I know how.
Just try to stay warm, okay? I'll be there soon.
Okay, see you soon.
Guy's a Boy Scout.
Since we are going to be rescued soon, I figured I might as well ask. You said you saw the girl earlier tonight and that she said your name?
Yep.
What do you think she wants from you? Or I guess us.
I don't know. Ralphie told me to listen the next time she shows up. He said the dead need someone to hear what they have to say.
Yeah, of course. Who would have thought? You and me, sharing a haunting.
It's Wolf Bluff. No one is immune to the weird shit that happens here.
Hello? Kit? Rex? Anybody?
Thank God. Hey, the cavalry's here.
Better late than never, right?
I can finally go home. Excuse me.
Hey, where's Kit?
In the studio with Rex.
Great.
Sorry, employees only beyond this point.
Don't be a dick.
Wouldn't dream of it. I'm gonna go take a leak. You two enjoy.
You ready to get out of here? I could really use some breakfast right about now. It's been a long night.
Yeah, same. But listen, I need to run a few things downstairs before I go. You go on ahead to the Old Flame. I'll be right behind you.
You sure? I can wait for you.
No, really, it's fine. I won't be long.
I'll get our usual booth.
Perfect. Hey, Tom. I love you.
I love you too.
What are you still doing here?
I need to take some things downstairs.
You're braver than I am. I have a clause in my contract that states I am not obligated to go down to the WBAR basement.
Well, far be it from me to ever make you do something that goes against this imaginary contract. You know, I don't know if it would stand up, though, in hypothetical court.
Jesus, Greenville. Haven't you busted my chops enough for one night?
Toughen up, Rex.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
No.
Just a stone's throw from me is the stairwell that leads down into the basement of WBAR. I can see a pale green light coming from the doorway. Kit puts the file box she's carrying down and looks at me.
What do we do?
Stupid Ralphie. The basement of WBAR has been used almost exclusively for storage for about 20 years. At one point, they actually had someone working down here, running back and forth between the shelves and shelves of boxes, plastic bags, and filing cabinets. Eventually, when most of the records were digitized, the position was discontinued. Kit and I make our way through the darkness of the basement, guided only by the light of our flashlights and the green glow about 30 feet away from us. I can feel my pulse starting to rise. In my mind, I'm suddenly back in that cellar. You'd think I'd seen enough of these movies to know better than to do this.
What is that?
In front of us is the desk where the old records clerk used to sit. Behind it is an old television strapped to a cart with a VCR, covered in a thick layer of dust and grime. The glow we've been following disappears, and just like that, Kit and I are plunged into darkness. The old TV springs to life. On its screen, we see what looks like security camera footage playing.
Is that...
The familiar gaudy neon sign of Hank's convenience store fills the camera feed. There are 2 cars parked in its lot, Hank's old Ford Rat Rod and a newer Honda. Soon, Hank steps outside and lights a cigar. A girl with auburn hair rushes outside, followed closely by another. They're arguing. Hank keeps looking over at them, but maintains a comfortable distance. I look closer. Is that...
Fiona.
The other girl keeps trying to walk away, but Fiona pulls her back, trying to hold her attention. Hank keeps his distance. Fiona shouts something at him.
Why is there not any sound on this thing?
It's an old TV. The girl with auburn hair stands in the middle of the parking lot, angrily waving her hands. She turns and throws something across the interstate. Fiona walks towards her, but the girl brings her hand back and slaps her hard across the face. Fiona stops. Hank drops his cigar and heads over to the 2 girls.
Wait, look at that.
A Lexus sedan pulls into the parking lot. Its license plate is all too familiar.
That's Shep Matthews' car.
Shep Matthews is the host of Pile of Hits, the local top 40 radio show. Mid-30s, unseasonably tan, and could be a walking advertisement for #MeToo. He rolls down his car window. Kit and I watch as the girl heads to the other side of Shep's car and gets in. Fiona screams something at them, and Shep pulls out of the parking lot and speeds away. A few seconds later, another car pulls in. I feel my mouth go dry. Son of a bitch.
What?
That's my car. Or it was.
Rex, look at the timestamp.
I look down at the corner of the footage. January 23rd.
That was the night of the accident.
The TV shuts off. In an instant, the girl with the head wound appears in front of us. She locks eyes with us and lets out a guttural, pained scream. That was the night you died, wasn't it? That was you in the video. The girl begins clawing at her face. She reaches out with her other hand and points to my jacket pocket. I feel around inside and pull out the key I found on that first night. This is yours, isn't it? The girl nods painfully, letting out another horrific, agonizing shriek. And then, she's gone.
Rex.
Yeah.
Fiona knew her.
Longtime First Time is created by Austin Fields and produced by KNUCKLEDRAGGER Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. Longtime First Time, Episode 4, Snowstorm in a Bottle, features Dan Galloon as Rex McHattie, Kristen Fields as Kit Greenville, Dustin LaFleur as Hank, Noah Litton as Tom Greenville, Taryn Prey as Suzanne, Dusty Dale Barker as Mike Bullock, Kristen Ryder as Fiona, Ryan Harris as Ryan, and Annabelle Fox as the Ghost. Sound design, mix, and score by KNUCKLEDRAGGER Studios. If you love the show, leave us a review and follow us on social media at LTFTpod. Till next time, don't be shy. We're waiting for you.